Yahoo, Prof here. Some hair on the camera. I have a granny kitty that wants attention. So, she's getting her attention. She already knocked the phone on my hands a couple times before we started this. So, one thing I can tell you is, boom, there's Backblaze, there's Steam. Backblaze was restoring at 2600 megabit. I think even as high as maybe 2800 in a short burst. At that same time, Steam was pulling the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 update down at 1.6 gigabit. So, it's like 2.6 gigabit plus 1.6 gigabit. All to my one desktop. I find that rather impressive. So the answer is, do I need 5 gigabit? No. Can I use it? Yes. Can I use all of it? No. So currently, if you can get fiber, get gigabit fiber at a minimum. But if you have, say a 10 gigabit internal network, or even a lot of new stuff is 2.5 gig, you might want to look at 2 gig fiber, because it's actually 2.5 gig is what it's coming across as. They just can't guarantee the full throughput at all times. And especially if you either have Wi-Fi 6, is it 6E or 6A? I always forget. 6A is the network cable, so it's Wi-Fi 6E. Or now I have Wi-Fi 7 with the Ubiquiti U7, I think it's U7 Pro. Yeah, there's no point in only having gigabit internet and having those. I mean, I shouldn't say no point, because your internal networking will be faster, obviously. But yeah, if you have gigabit fiber and can get 2 gigabit fiber, look into it, especially if the other parts of your network are upgraded. Now, if you're still sitting on gigabit internal networking, don't waste your time with... She's stuck. No, okay. Don't waste your time with greater than gigabit fiber. Get your 1000 by 1000 fiber and rock it. But yeah, unless you have some serious hardware, you're not going to be pulling those numbers right there. It was at like 2500. In this case, with 5 gigabit in my router and Wi-Fi setup, I could have somebody else in the house doing the exact same thing, and nobody would bat an eye. Even for my use, 2 gig would have been enough, but with how much Spectrum was charging versus how much the current provider is, it was barely more. Especially because I got in early, like before it was even being built. So that's something for you. You may be able to see a hint of what we might be dealing with today on the desk already. If so, throw it down in the comments. I will say, if you've seen this video, I have been loving these, actually. These are the Sony PlayStation Pulse Elite gaming headset phones. The mic's over here. Pulls out like that. Perfectly placed, actually, side of the mouth. There is a mute button also. You press, there's a button on the inside and it glows red. I still haven't figured out how to do multi. I mean, I really cared about having the PlayStation dongle. Also, I'm purposely not charging them. I charged them up once right when I got them because I want to see how long they last. They claim 20 hours. We'll see. So far for me, the mic has been decent. I won't say it's been amazing. It's been way better than a lot of reviews say, though. Also, I feel like the people that say that those don't have soundstage don't know what they're talking about. And some people are like, oh, there's not enough bass and stuff. That's preference, because they sound really freaking clean. And I've been listening to it since I got them on. I picked them up on Sunday. We're now on Wednesday. And I've used them for all work. The other thing, I don't know if this is a Teams issue or a headset issue. It seems like when I initiate the use of the mic, like the first couple seconds of it working, it like... Blah. The other thing is, at least so far, and maybe Sony can fix this, is because their PlayStation... It's a PlayStation headset. Apparently the firmware updates come through the PlayStation. I haven't seen a way to do it on via PC. Sony's cool like that, though. Maybe they will let me, or update it to be able to do that. Otherwise, I haven't had an issue. I guess like the one issue that I have replicated from other people is if you're sitting without content playing through them for a substantial amount of time, they go. I think they go into like a partial sleep mode, like or like, and what happens is you get a high pitched whine that comes out. But as soon as you start playback media, it goes away. And also, if you just pause that media, or if you stop playing for a good bit, it goes away. But if you're used to sitting there with your headphones off, not having any sound come through them, for some reason there's like a whine. My guess is when it changes power states is when it goes into a lower power thing, waiting to hear something. Kind of like your mouse, you know, kind of it like when you're not using it, it goes like blup blup blup, and it sees you move it, and it's like, oh, I gotta wake up and start doing things. Very similar to that from what I can tell. I think I might be wrong. Correct me down below in the comments. But yeah, I know some people who sit there. These aren't noise canceling, but some people will just sit there without like headphones on, without anything playing through them. Not something I do. Normally, if I don't need them, I'm taking them off my head. But normally I prefer to have speakers if possible. But I will say they are super, super, super comfy. I have worn them the entirety of my workday for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And even on Monday, I played some Call of Duty before the season was done to finish out some last rewards. So, I mean, since they're sitting here, we should probably use the Tactile Turn or Tactile Knife Co. Knives that are right there. And you'll be like, well, why are those right there? Normally, you wouldn't use those for just unboxing things. Yep, I wouldn't, because it's cardboard. It's just going to dull them. And it's tape. It's just going to get them gooey. That is actually why we own the letter opener. It's a rather cheap knife. Well, it's actually not like cheap cost wise. Still kind of expensive. But like cheaper metal, cheaper, you know. There's an order of magnitude between this, even with it being more expensive than I think it should be, and that. And also with using a blade, like a normal blade, cardboard's actually like, you know, there's a reason why they make box cutters. Let's put it that way. So. Yeah, I'm gonna have to de-googify this. Because it's just the sticky. I don't care when it's not a nice knife. You know? I mean, not that this isn't nice. It looks nice. I gotta figure out a way to mount the sheath yet. But it's not like nice like these are. So. You know, just this was my fairway. I don't know, I think evergreen. Fairway one. It's the golf themed guy. And this is the Nautilus. Gorgeous. You see a little bit less of the iridescent tinge than you would on the pen, because this is flat surfaces, whereas the pen is like always round because it's a pen, you know. But let's just say, as much as I said I wasn't going to get another one, because part of the reason why I got I actually special ordered this one, the fairway one, because normally it would come in the drop point like that, which is what I prefer usually. But I was like, if I'm going to get another Rockwall thumb stud, which is what this model is called, from Tactile Knife Co., like sister company to Tactile Turn, I was going to get the Tanto blade style, because I hadn't gotten that from them yet, and they just dropped it. You can often get an indication of what kind of, let's just say, seasonal knife is going to be coming out, because this new side here dropped as a raw variant of this a couple weeks prior to this coming out, the fairway here. The same thing happened with the pen that is in there. This is ordered from a new I was gonna say a new pen company. Nope, not a new pen company, just a new distributor. They're actually in my, it's called DLT Trading. I normally use Knife Center, but Knife Center was out of these these sold out pretty quick, and you'll see why shortly. Knife Center ran out fairly quickly. And then I did a quick Google and search. DLT Trading, I heard good stuff about. So I ordered up through them. So you guys might be able to see this here. Icefall, Rockwall, Tanto, Thumb Stud, Stonewash, Uncut, Titanium. What does that all mean? What does that all mean? If you understood all of those words, throw it down in the comments. I don't know if I even understood all those words. Okay. What we do have, though, it doesn't even have. This is the Topographical. So 63, 64 hardness. Rockwall thumb stud. So the bigger thing besides that, though, is that this is Icefall themed, and you're like, isn't that the pen you sent back to get repaired? Yeah, well, it's the pen I'm supposed to send back to get repaired. I kind of haven't gotten to that yet. At the moment, I lack car. So, I gotta borrow a car to do errands and stuff. But here it is. So I still have it. Gotta send it back. In the process of doing so. Pull it out though just for this. So here is the Icefall. Slim Icefall, I should say. I just thought the design looked better for slim. Like that. Just because it's a little bit more of a busy pattern compared to the Nebula. I think it was Nebula. Might have been called something else. I think it was Nebula. Might not be. Nebula doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. It is next. Nope. Deep Space. Deep Space. Okay. So it's a very similar theme. For those who watched my review of it, or I don't know if it was a review per se. First look, unboxing. Oh god, that felt chonky. It's got the same feel as the Deep Space in the design. My Deep Space on my large one looks amazing. I just didn't think that this design was going to look amazing. I thought it looked better, and I also thought the Damascus clip looked better on the slim. So that's why we went that route. So I was not considering getting another one. I even didn't get the Deep Space Rockwall thumb as I throw my beautiful knife around. They're titanium, they can handle it, but you know, it is Cerakote. You can even see there's a little bit of wear, because I use these. I carry it around like these. Depending on what I'm vibing with, especially if I'm carrying the same knife or the same pen that day as the knife, you gotta rock the matching knife. You know, it's just how it is, right? I don't know if I liked how, like, this one is implemented perfectly, matches the Nautilus pen exactly. For this one on the pen, The yellow is the one with the and the clip is the ball. But that's like the only place they really mill flat surfaces to make it look like the ball. But then theoretically, the ball should be the white. I always thought that was weird on the pen too. But I liked how it looked. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about the fairway as the knife. I feel like the theme. I feel like the theme is not as well implemented as the pen is. But I will say I do like the, like the. I feel like those might that looks better to me because they made the screw that they custom make here. That's actually got a flat on the backside. That looks much closer to like a golf ball. I don't know if they made them wider or deeper or something. But I think this is like I said, they made this a standard scale that you can get, and then they just put the custom color on it. Same thing happened with the Icefall knife. This topographical blade is available and has been available for a while now already as just a standard raw titanium. So that it seems like they get the design of it figured out, right? And then in this case, this topographical vibe is perfect match for the Icefall because of its like iceberg, glacier. I think it's glacier actually style, design and influences and that sort of stuff. And I really do like how this ended up. That's another thing is remember how I said the paint job of the Nautilus works a little bit worse with the flat surfaces. You can kind of still hit it though as you go like this. With the fairway, the green on the pen is also iridescent, and it actually is. This is the same paint job, right? However, because it has all these dots, you're not getting that flat face to reflect the light near you until you look at these edges here. Then you can kind of see that it's the same as the pen was. But like having this texture almost made it made the one of the really nice things about the fairway, just like with the Nautilus, is the it's like got this color shifting. It's green, but the color depth in the green is just more than green. And like I said though, I like the fact that it had the different scale. Like it's got the dotted scale. You could get this separately, but it looks better in this. And then I picked it up with the Tanto style blade because I didn't, my other one. I thought this was gonna be my only second one. Well, this bad boy came out. This is the I think I read it off earlier, but let's Icefall Topographical Rockwall. So and these sold out on Tactile's website. This Icefall Rockwall Topographical. To me, the other thing that they changed, this is a nice rounded finish here. Nice round. Now on this one, they kind of put like an inner line here, but it's still this nice rounded. They actually chunked off the edges, like they're like a 45 chunk there, which I think actually better matches. Like on the fairway, the Tanto blade was optional. I think it does look a little bit out of place, but I was like, I'm getting a second blade or a second knife from them. I should get the one I don't have. I think I do prefer the drop point. I prefer drop point blades in general. But with the topographical one here, I think this 45 is a better match for the Tanto. There's just sharper edges on the actual milling of the knife itself. It feels a bit more chonky in the hand, like a little bit wider, a little bit less rounded off, which I don't know makes the Tanto blade work a bit better, But the paint job on this with the it needs a little bit of break-in. The Nautilus wasn't like that, but the fairway was for sure. Took I don't know, a couple days of opening and closing to loosen it up a little bit. You don't want to loose, but But yeah, it actually feels like a little bit more because this edge here is not rounded over. It's like a hard edge there. And you can kind of see with the here, like it's raised up a little bit more too, whereas this screws a little bit more inset. You can kind of see really, you can see a hard edge with that screw right there. So a little bit more of a departure. I thought the Tanto blade looked really nice with it. That's the default one. I don't even know if there were options, but these sold out. I don't want to say on the day of that they went on live on the Tactile Turn website or Tactile Knife Co website. Really nice finish on the Cerakote with the, I think that's like a engraving or something for the screw there. Really, really nice looking. And then with a flat button. You know, it's just definitely unique in their Rockwalls. I find it interesting that these are the ones that they always customize. They do also make an Icefall, I think they call it the Maverick. It's the sheath knife. I actually considered it. It looks really cool. This one just looked cooler. With the topographical handle here that really matches the kind of like blotchy Icefall theme. And just a really nice thematically wise. This is the best of the knives that I have, at least from them. And you're like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, well, the Nautilus is basically just a knife version of the pen, which that's my favorite knife from them. Probably, if they beat that, I will be highly surprised. Just because the paint job on it it's simple and elegant, yet, like really nice looking, that sort of stuff. I would actually argue that the knife implementation of this, I don't say it's better than the pen, but it's right up there, and it's different enough. Like, you took the same design ideas, but applied them differently to the knife, and I think unlike the Fairway, which is different, but I don't know if it's necessarily different in a better way. Like, the button's really nice. That looks exactly like the golf ball should. But I don't know if this is implemented as well as the pen is, whereas this is at least on the same level. I might argue even better. Just a gorgeous design. And you can see like the different textures when the paint actually have different sheens. And like I said, it actually feels a little bit chunkier in the hand compared to those two over there. And I will say that the paint on here looks a little bit more matte than the knife. Now, a lot of that could be because, remember, the Tactile Turn has these very fine grooves grooved into it, so those can be adding to like the reflectiveness and the matte-ness compared to this, which does not have those grooves and has more flat surfaces for the reflections. But how they balance the topographical design with the different like splotchiness like they have here, and they scaled it up too, because it's very like fine splotchiness on the slim pen here. They kind of widened it up, made it a little bit softer on the knife. Like I wasn't, like I said, if anything, I was looking at the Maverick because I don't have a Maverick, which is like I said, their sheath one. They did use a different blade, like a metal for the blade on that, and I'm like, I don't know. Then I saw this thing, and it was out of stock. The Knife Center had some for pre-order, but I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I've been having issues, or I've been having money's been going out for fixing the server. Then deer hit my car. Insurance covered that for the most part, though. Luckily, I don't know. Oh, and then mom slipped and broke her ankle in, I think it's 3 or 4 spots. Lovely. Yeah. So this might be a little bit of a, what do you want to say? Like, it was an impulse buy. It was in my cart for probably a week or so. But then I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm really interested in it. I'll buy it from Knife Center. By the time I went to Knife Center, they were gone. Because they weren't up for pre-order. Then I remember they were up for sale. Because I really don't like pre-ordering things like that. Because in this case, like, these are limited edition knives. Who knows if they're taking too many pre-orders and stuff like that, you know. And it seemed, I don't think it went exactly straight from pre-sale to out, but it was less than a day that they had any in stock. Gorgeous knife, though. I can see why. Then I was searching around. I'm like, oh, I saw some other places as they got stock, filling it up, and I was like, okay, so what's another good place? Because I've bought from a couple ones before that I trust, like some of the other knives, and none of those had this guy either in stock or got this specific one. So I was like, oh, what's a good one? And right after Knife Center, DLT Trading was on there, and I will say this came in a day, one day. And you're like, why? Well, I could have driven to the place that shipped this to me. Like, I mean, like, oh, you can drive 10 hours. Yeah, no, not like. I mean, like, it's in my state. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, might as well support local people, you know. And everybody online said that they had a great history and rapport. Like, I looked for coupon codes, like you always do, you know. And they're like, yeah, they don't have coupon codes because they don't need them, because they never, like, they have good prices already. They have no reason to. God, it looks so good. It looks so different from those two. See, that's why, like, you could get every single time they make a seasonal, you know, for the various pens, but like they're much more money, and if it's just the same thing, because early on they were basically all just the standard tactile turn knife or tactile knife co knife. So that's the grooves. So what they do is they mill them flat. Like, you'll see them sideways, kind of like the pen, and so the pen goes all the way around, right? And they were all just different paint jobs. Then they started, like, this was one of the first ones that had a different scale. It is called scale, like the part you grip, on it. Still titanium, and then this, like I said, this one, because like the Deep Space is just this guy, but with the Deep Space paint job. It really didn't interest me. This thing, though, combination of the different milling. Like I said, this was released a while back, actually, the topographical one. So I'm guessing, like, kind of like what they do is they probably know the Icefall one is coming. Then what they do is they do the R&D to make the knife that has the, like, milling but in raw that they want to do for the seasonal. Then once that's all figured out, and like they made a bunch of raw ones that turn out good, then they can adjust that. Because remember, Cerakote adds a little bit of thickness and stuff like that. They can adjust that, and then then when they do those, they just have to worry about the custom paint job, not actually the figuring out of the the knife. So that would be my recommendation. That's kind of what happens with their pens too. Is they'll make, and that might be why they ran into issues with the slim side click when they did that, because when they did the original slim side click, it released as the trailblazer at the same time as the slim side click coming out, and it had issues. They fixed them all for everybody, from my understanding. At least mine and David picked up one as well. We were both fully resolved. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want, like, yeah, cool, they got the new milling thing out. I bet you give it another month or two at most, if not even a couple weeks, and they're gonna have some sort of gorgeous seasonal version of it out. If you're looking for an everyday carry, I probably wouldn't buy a seasonal one unless you don't care about it wearing off. Now, I will say it's not that I don't care about them wearing off. I do. But that is not going to stop me from, like, obviously I'm going to avoid, like, throwing this into a rock tumbler and having it come out like poo and all of it worn off, right? But it's not going to stop me from using it. Like, I use this a little bit less, though, because the mechanism is super touchy. Like, just, of course, now it's not doing it. Before, it made a big bad crunch noise. Yeah, I'm not even pushing. I mean, I am technically pushing. But here, I'll show you on... Yes, this is not a slim one. It's a full size. But push it in. Look, I'm pushing the same as before. It doesn't come out. You gotta, like, push it in. That thing, you just touch the... Like that. Lightly touch the button and it goes... Boom. So that's why it's going out for some maintenance, you know? We did luck out though, because this same came so quickly, and that hasn't gone out yet. I was able to have them side by side for you. Look at those guys. Hoo-wee! I'm guessing they do not move as many knives as pens because, like that's got the fancy pants box. This just has their standard box, even though it's like a seasonal knife. So I actually like that it's a bit more thick with it being squared off like that. Like it just feels a little bit more substantial in the hand. See, this is also why that's there. Like, see, you're not gonna wreck your nail or hit your nail or whatever because it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. Like it's this Rockwall. If you're wondering, you can tell whoever designed this one. It just sits in your hand. It's the exact right size for like a normal size hand, and that's right there. And it's just a well engineered. I'd say the same thing about their. Hold it, Maverick. Is that even correct? Oh, this is the Maverick. Dread Eye. So this guy is the Maverick. This is the fat carbon one. Looks beautiful. Look at that carbon fiber in there. Purple carbon fiber. Just gorgeous. This is the one that's always on my desk. And this also fits in the hand so good. It's so slim. It's actually slimmer than the Vex are. Their new knife, which is I think multiple times even what this one cost, is even bigger than this, and this is like substantial for me. Like this, technically, in some places you couldn't everyday carry; it's too long. Whereas that you got no problem with. And the Bexar, no problem at all. So the Dread Eye was cool because they actually like painted or etched or something the blade on it to make it like matchy. But this one just looked cooler. The Dread Eye is now also all sold out. It wasn't before, and that's why I was kind of like, oh, I'll get that one instead of this, until I found this in stock at DLT Trading. Which, hey, they came through lickety split for me. I had a label. I ordered it at night, had label the next day, had it the next day. So like boom, 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 and they're local to me. So yeah, if you guys regularly use like Knife Center, and they're out of the thing you're looking, maybe look at DLT Trading. In this case, I may even start looking at DLT Trading first if it's not like a exclusive pen. That is one cool thing about Knife Center is they have a bunch of exclusive pens, knives. The same thing, everyday carry, stabby and righty, or stabby too, if need be. I guess to be slicey and righty. This guy's got to go back. Yeah, maybe check them out. Like I said, I heard good things, and so I ordered up. I was just trying to find. There were a couple places. There were like 3-4 places that had some of these left, and I'm like, okay, I don't buy enough knives. I know some people buy all the knives. I mean, I might be one of those persons now. There's 4 on this, 3 on this cart, 1 on that cart, 1 over there you just saw. Got all the, and I got the 2 cheaper, like they're like sub $60 ones. Those are really nice for the money. Like that'd be, like if you guys are just looking for a nice everyday carry knife, check out, I think they're real steel drop point, as long as you don't need a locking one. They don't lock. But like I like slip joint, like drop tip. I think it's called drop tip, which is this kind of one, whoosh. And I actually like slip joint for everyday carry. This one's really nice. These these Rockwalls. Bexar from Tactile Knife Co. that I got in Ultim. That is a slip joint knife as well. Very, very thin. You can fit it in your very thin and short. You can fit it in your coin pocket. Get a little bead on it, you can pull it out. I don't particularly like that style of blade though, because it's more of like, I don't know if it's like a hunting blade or it's like a square blade on the bottom, and then like a, I don't know, like the blade seems wider than the handle. I like the opposite, you know, same size, or like we saw this, it almost looks like it tapers this way, you know, like tapers that way. That one's kind of like a thin handle with like a chunk knife. Um, just not an older style blade. Like I would say, I had some from my grandpa that were like that. Often you'd see like wood handled versions of them. It's like a style. It's just not my vibe. I'd rather have a. Now, like I said, with this one, the Tanto works. I have an SOG that's a Tanto, only because I got it for free. We use it for things that you're not supposed to use knives for. Still a nice blade, but it's just one I don't have to care about. Really good warranty from them too. Like they replaced it when they couldn't sharpen it for me because I was willing to pay the sharpening fee, and they're like, "Oh, this is too far gone." So that's cool. SOG, good job, thank you. That's like the big knife I carry. Like if you're going to do woodsy things, or you need a big, like knifey knife that you don't really care what happens to it, but it needs to be a good knife. Bring that. Still not a fixed blade. Can't find my really nice ones of those. Don't know. But yeah, I this Icefall here. I was seriously, I was not planning on picking up. Like, think of it. I have 3 Rockwall thumb studs. It's like you should buy save the money from this and put it towards their new Archer blade, or at least get a different one. But looked so good. The new scales, I didn't even know they had changed like the routing or chamfering along the edge here, and like how the scale is that much. It's more changed even more than this one was. Around this time as well, when the GT version and prior, they actually made a fully smooth one. I didn't like how that looked on the GT. It was just very bland. Of the re-releases of these, because they re-released all their original seasonal colors as knives as well, I think the Fairway, which isn't even that old of a seasonal, in my opinion, I might be crazy, it was like the most unique of all of them. Like a lot of the originals that came out with, like I said, Safety First, Overlander, meh. I think that pen's meh too. Nautilus, and then there was the Stealth. Stealth is supposed to be DLC coded. I don't know if it even is. Yeah, it says custom Cerakote. So like the big thing with the DLC, the Stealth pen was it was DLC coded. I don't think they DLC coded the scales when they made the Stealth one. That's where I had to get the Nautilus, because the iridescent sort of color shifting blue to gold shift with the gold accent paint job, just it has a really like dry feel to it too. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. So check out their stuff if you like Tactile turns pens. You might want the matching knife. You guys are knife people. I will tell you that early on, like I know the Maverick that you just saw, like my fat one, or the launch versions of that, people were having issues with it. Tactile turned to with their pens, like this was. I had this on launch for a seasonal. A lot of their first generation stuff can kind of tend to have issues from my experience. So what I'd say there is, unless you need it, wait for like a revision like this, because they're not going to do a seasonal revision or a new body style until they fix and straighten out the mechanism. I think some of the early Mavericks had like play in the blade would shift a little mechanism. Now, did they fix everybody and make everybody whole? Yes, to my knowledge they did. But a lot of people don't want to wait for that, right? I mean, do you want to? Do you want to wait for that? A lot of people don't. So they want to have their new knife, and they want to use it right away, right? Or they don't want it to have any issues. Then don't buy them on launch. Tactile turn. Anytime they have a new design or a new anything, really, it seems to have issues. Like with this guy,
like you can see some of like the lube in it. This is their Ember bolt seasonal. It's the first time they did a Cerakoted bolt, and they actually didn't Cerakote the. I gotta Loctite the bolt back on. It's loose again. But they didn't Cerakote the inside because otherwise they were worried it would wear out, or that Cerakote would wear off the Cerakote around here. However, they had to lube it, and normally you wouldn't even notice that because it's a silver pen or a black pen or a copper, copper, whatever. But because of all the different colors, the lube would seep down the thing. I tried cleaning it off. However, then since the bolt is Cerakoted, it would be all scratchy. So it's like, do you want it to scratch the inside and be all, or do you want it to have a little bit of a stain? And I went, a little bit of stain's fine. And then, like, they were telling me, you can clean it off. Like, I was using a Q-tip at first. It would just come back because it would leak, leak down every time you would actuate it. Love this thing though. This is one of my best feeling bolt pens from them though. They have that knocked out. Part of the reason why I didn't go slim here too is for the bolts. I prefer this older clip. I do wonder at some point if they're going to change the full size bolts over to the newer style clip that you were seeing on all the other pens, because it's the last one that has that style, and it is far more prone to bending because it's not a milled clip, so it's more springy. But then sometimes that spring leads to spring too far, hold it there, and now it's stuck there, and you can't bend it back down without taking it all apart. And when you have the nice paint job on it, you don't want to get out your pliers, even if you have fancy nylon jaw pliers meant for taking that stuff apart. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Are you as impressed with the Rockwall thumb stud Icefall as I am? Because I personally think this color theme turned out amazing with this topographical map style milling. Really, really beautiful and nice. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. Any comments, questions, requests, hit me up down below. See you in the next one. Peace.